Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're watching on Apple Podcasts or whether you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And don't forget to follow on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and X. It is early morning Wednesday. Unfortunately, had difficulties trying to record an episode yesterday. The cold is still bothering me. Coughing can be difficult when trying to record. Not only that, technical issues as well. When you get about 5 minutes into recording an episode, your whole system freezes and you lose the episode that you already recorded. And then the cough starts acting up and it's hard to try and continue to record. So here I am, early Wednesday morning, Christmas Eve. Happy holidays to everyone. And I hope this week is a good week for Manchester United. I know so far the start of it hasn't been the best. Getting the loss on Sunday. Now we're preparing to face Newcastle, and the injuries are still there. We will have Casemiro back on Friday, which is a good thing. So basically, we're looking at getting everything ready to go. The question is now what is the preparation for mid? I am doing my lineup today. It is a little bit of the preview of the Newcastle match. Just catching up on things for Manchester United, as it has been a while since I've dedicated an episode to just catching up on transfer news, injuries, all that stuff. Obviously, yesterday, the United world is a little shook because Semenyo had made his choice of joining Manchester City. I know United were pushing to try and get him for their squad. There's a report that Amorim was willing to change the system to accommodate having some Semenyo there. But at the end of the day, he ended up making the choice. Anything can happen. We know anything can change in the future in the last minute, but it looks like he's going to be going to Manchester City. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep repeating myself as at the end of the day. But yes, we're having still more news. Obviously, the Kobe Mainoo saga keeps going on. Now that he's injured, he's out. What's going on with the transfer plans? Because Bruno is expected to be back potentially the earliest. He may even be missing the Manchester derby. We're looking at least a month with him, and I think I mentioned that on Monday's episode when I did that. So we're going to be without our captain. Casemiro again is back, which means it bolsters it. Will Ugarte start on Friday? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go with the double mid. But it's going to be tough. But yes, we continue looking at transfer targets. Obviously, Ruben Neves is a potential target. Dominendo, I believe, is what I was seeing here as well. I'll have to pull up the potential transfer list. But we're at a point where we need to start looking at getting the correct players in. Amorim is not looking for short-term fixes. He's looking for players that are there for a long time to help build. That's what it is. And it's a great answer. And the answers that he was giving last week going into the weekend about like the players, the way things are going, all that stuff, trying to build. But we need to make sure that we're getting things done to protect the club. So right now it's just a matter of finding the right players who are there. They just don't want 1 or 2 years. They want long-term players there to help build everything. So right now, Manchester United need to make sure that they are ready to go. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I don't believe anything, or I won't believe a player has joined or is joining the club until I see them with the social media team at Carrington, signing the contract, doing the press conferences, ready to go. That's basically it. But we need to make sure that we're in the right mind. And here I was hoping that a recording, I would be cough free for the whole recording. So I do apologize for that. But we, sorry, excuse me. Just trying to catch up on all Manchester United news at this time right now. Obviously, we do have Newcastle, but right now I know there's talks of Elliot Anderson. There's talks of Baliba still being there. I know they're still looking for Stiller from Stuttgart. There's talks there now about the Bruno release clause that's there. There's a rumor that Byron made a $50 million or is going to make a $50 million bid. So that's basically like, and I know there's talks of trying to get Bruno's replacement in. There's a lot of speculations going on with Manchester United, and it's tough. And we don't know. Because again, yes, the injury concerns there. I'm just seeing something here. Gallagher bid at right now, potentially going in. The Gallagher is going to be a loan. It's with an obligation. We don't know if we're going to buy him. We don't know if it's going to work with him. We don't know how things are going to look. Because I know there's Gallagher, there's Neves, there's talks of Anderson, Wharton, but those guys won't be there till the summer. Brighton still want like 100 million for Baliba. So it's, do I have a list? I do like all those players, but right now I know they're going to look for players. I know they're going to try and develop youth. I know we have to try and get some of our players healthy. That's what I want right now. But listen, we don't know what was going to happen going into this AFCON break. We couldn't predict that many injuries. You can always predict an injury or two, but losing Bruno, losing Kobe, Harry Maguire, De Ligt are still out. And yes, having those three gone from AFCON, that's 7 players. All 7 have an impact on the squad. So that does hurt, especially when we're going into games. But hopefully we have some of those players coming back. Hopefully we do. So hopefully we have some of those players coming back. Potentially, especially De Ligt and Maguire, especially with our back. Like Aiden Heaven has been playing well, Euro. And the one thing too is during the transfer window, we may look at additional depth in our back to try and get them healthy because we don't know what's going on with De Ligt. That's the concerning part. He finished his last match, but hasn't been able to play since. So maybe defensive backs they're going to look at. So we'll see what happens in January. That's the one thing, right? We're going to have to see how it all plays out. We want to make sure, but again, we can't have temporary fixes. It can't be loans. It can't just be loan to buy, or an obligation to buy, or an opportunity to buy, or so on and so forth. But we'll see. Again, there's still plenty of time. The window hasn't opened yet, but it's just a matter of just waiting. So let me just take a look here to see if things been up. I know they're talking about the new, it looks like a potential new academy figure joining. So let's just take a look. Anything else here? Let's take a look at what Sky Sports just reported. Who could they turn to replace Bruno? Obviously, Bruno's gone. Manu is obviously not going to be ready for this week. Yeah, Mount could drop deeper. Ugarte could step in. I don't know if he can. He can't switch to a midfield 3 because who does he have? We don't have players and right for the back 4. That's the formation, all the stuff. I know I tried to experiment with it last week, but it was just it was tough to try and do it, because we're trying to make sure that we have all the right pieces, and it's hard to say if we do, and we may have to try to experiment with it again. I don't know, but yeah. All right, let's get to the preview. Let's get to talking about Manchester United facing Newcastle. Okay, so yes, we are facing Newcastle. We are coming off of a tough loss, where we did play. We played well, but we didn't win. We didn't play great. We played well. We lost points, but now we're in a situation where we have injuries. We still have players. We have more injuries now than we did going into Aston Villa. We have picked up Kobe Mainu. Kobe got his injury on Friday, so we lose him for Sunday. Then we pick up Bruno. So now we have that injury. Now we have 4 players out due to. Now we have 4 players out due to injury, and we're trying to make sure that we're ready to go for the next match. But right now, we're in a difficult situation here. How are we going to build our lineup? The attack in the back 3 should still be remaining. It's the middle 2 that is concerned. Well, not even that. Casemiro's back. The only person is where do we put in that deep role? Do we put Mount there? Do we put I'm looking at FOTMod here. They have Xerxes in that position. Do we just continue on with Lisandro Martinez, how he played in the second half, how well he moved the ball? Listen, Newcastle is very good. They still are a very good team. We have struggled when playing them before. So it's not the same Newcastle as last year, but they have played well. Newcastle's only behind us by 3 points. They've, we know how well they played. Let's look at their last 5: draw, loss, win, draw, win. Us, practically identical. Loss, draw, win, draw, win. Yeah. Identical. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Us, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Yeah. Basically, it's just a matter of the order. But yes, we're in this situation here, and we need to know how we're going to approach. Again, the attack I think should be there, but I would like to see more from the attack, more trust in each other, getting that done. We know their midfield will be a challenge for us. I don't know if they're going to trust Ugarte again, or if Amram's going to. We know the fan base would prefer not to. Again, there were some areas of the game he looked okay. Others he did struggle. There were some turnovers. There was handling of the ball. So we saw that there, but we need to make sure that the midfield can be sealed up, especially with. And again, we're going to be going with the same back 3, and I know Yoro has struggled, and we would like to have Yoro rebound and make sure that he's good to go, because he's going to have to step up again. He's going to have to be out on that right side. We don't have replacements like DeLitt and Harry Maguire. Martinez may have to go to the mid. We have Aiden Heaven, who played very well. Yes, the goal last week, there were multiple parties. Delo, who wore the band last week after Bruno left, has to step up from both ends. Can't have a cross like that led to a goal. Everyone needs to be there, and they have to be able to move the ball, transition, the passes, discipline. Again, consistency, discipline, finish. It was there. They lacked some of it last week. Dorgu, who played well, Cunha getting the goal at the end of the first. They did play. Some players did play well. They need to do it again, but they need to do it with a win. And I'm always going for the win. I always say that. And the squad here needs to prepare for that. They have to be able to get the attack going. Cunha cannot put the whole team on his shoulders. The trust, the repetition with Sesko. Sesko, his touches, his finish have to be there. So we need to see that there. So it's about trying to make sure everyone is on the same page, ready to go. But it's a challenge. It is. They're up for a challenge because of the mid. And listen, we can talk Ineos and the Glazers. We can talk about them for the whole entire day. But at the end of the day, we're still in the same situation. We can't bring in a player. We can't bring in depth. We can't go back in time and say, hey, we know that this is going to happen. We need we're here now. The academy players will be there. We'll see Fletcher. We'll see Lacey getting on the pitch again. We'll see more academy players there, which is good. Maybe we have Fletcher starting this week. Unfortunately, I'm going with. I have a different lineup. I'm going to discuss my lineup in a moment. Why do I have a different lineup? Well, because I'm weird. No, it's not about that. It's about we have to look at what the best option is. And right now, it's right now our issue is always going to be the mid. Whether Bruno is back or not, the mid's always a concern because it gets overrun. But right now, they need to look at what is the best way to keep possession, move the ball well, work the transition, get the goal in the net. They have to look at the pieces there and the players there that should be helping in that. So right now, the lineup that I'm going with right now is Lemens, Yoro, Heaven, Shaw in the back three. Obviously, that will always remain until we start getting players back. Delo, Casemiro, Dorgu. Obviously, Casemiro should be back off of his suspension. Martinez, I am starting there. I'm taking the gamble. I'm going to take the gamble, and maybe Amram will be there. Not only that, it's the leadership. Martinez is extremely well disciplined, and he plays well defensively. Not only that, he has played in this position in this area before. He did it back at Ajax. Obviously, when we brought him over, he played in the back, and that's where he switched to eventually. Went from there, but there were some times where he did play in the mid. But we would need to have this. It wouldn't be unusual to have a player out of position. We saw it with Ten Hag. We've seen it before. But having Martinez there, who's had the experience there before, but also has the discipline and the leadership that we need to kind of fill that in. And nothing against Bruno. I do love him. But having Martinez there, you saw the short passes, you saw the discipline, you saw the movement, you saw there. Nothing against Xerxes, but it's about the rotation. So I do apologize, a little bit of a technical issue, but going back, yes, having Martinez there is important. Like I was mentioning, the passes, the discipline, having complement with Casemiro is great. Having them together is fantastic because we can be able to get discipline and movement. And nothing against Ugarte. There's times where he was good last week, and there's times where he wasn't the best. We've seen him struggling with possession in the feet, trying to move. We know that there is the player there, but we know that he has been struggling. So maybe he comes off the bench in that capacity with, let's say, Fletcher or someone. But we only have. Do apologize for that cough, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have. We're very limited in substitutions. So maybe experience has to stay on the bench with Ugarte. So yeah, having those two up front. I know there's talks of bringing Mount down to a deeper role, but we have to keep Mount in that attacking three of him, Cunha, and Sesko, and it has to be the similar. So we saw Sesko do some good things last week, but his finish, his touch, the movement, Cunha's got to trust everyone around him, not try to take it all on his own. I mentioned that earlier on in the episode as well. But we have to make sure everyone is ready to go for this match. Everyone has to be on all the same page. Again, we don't have Bruno there to be the captain. I don't know who's going to wear the band this week. I would like to either be Casemiro or Licha to wear the band this week. It may be Casemiro for that. But they have a challenge. That's what I'm leaning toward. And hopefully whatever adjustments that Ruben does take into effect and that the team understand the tactics. The back four situation's not happening this week, guys. That back four transition will happen during the game, but it's not going to be starting with that. He won't be. He's going to be going with what he has there. Then during the game, you're going to see him stepping in, doing the transition into that 4-3-3. But right now, we don't have the personnel for even a starting 4-3-3 because of injuries. So, still look at the 3-4-3. So again, my lineup for Friday is again Lemens, Yoro, Heaven, Shaw, Dillo, Casemiro, Martinez, Dorgu, Mount, Sesko, Cunha. That's what we're looking at for the matchup come Friday. It is an important matchup. We have an important game. We have to come away with a W. Is our season over if we come away with a draw or loss? No, it's not. But we everyone needs to step up. It's the same like I mentioned in the last week's episode. It's the next player up mentality. Everyone has to be ready for this and show. So again, I'm always going for the win. I'm always going for a United win as always. But these players, again, consistency, discipline, finish. Again, they don't have Bruno there, but Bruno did put it on them last week that he's talked about it. But they need to step up, and this is it. This is where they have to step up. They need to show their value. So it's time for the players to do what they need to do. I'm going to leave it there. I might be back with an episode on Friday. If not, it will be late Saturday. It is the holidays, so I hope everyone has a safe and happy holidays as well. We'll be back Friday. But yes, I'll try to do a recap then. I will be back officially Saturday to talk United, maybe post game about the game, the match on Friday. But enjoy the next few days. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy Friday. Enjoy the game as well. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.